And now, our feature presentation.
You are watching a master at work.
Hello, everybody. My name is Rafael Chacín, as known as el Capitán Rafucho, and welcome to another episode of Civil and Black Experience. No BS, no drama, no filter, just Raiders, baby. And of course, yesterday it was very good because we just had a lot of news, and of course, we had a lot to express about Antonio Pierce and Tom Telesco. I mean, this is so great. But right now, on this tonight's episode, we just had a great special guest. You might know is one of those rookies content creators that we just saw with Farrell or these live streams. But right now, for the first time, I had this guy right here because he understands about for the culture, about for the Raiders. So please give it up for a warm welcome because right now on the East Coast. So right now, let's give it a round of applause for our man of the hour, Sabera Raider. How's it going, Sabera Raider? Welcome.
Hey, what's up, man? Appreciate you having me on, man.
All right, so let's get started with the first topic right here. All right, so before I had to go to do it, because during the off season, because we're just eliminated for the playoff contention, right now we just hit the jackpot between Antonio Pierce as the new head coach for the Raiders. And I understand that he just brought a lot of culture. He just brought back the old roots for Oakland, California. I mean, forget about the experiment about Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler because it's not working it. But Mark Davis, they just had a great choice to hire Antonio Pierce as a new head coach for the next season. I mean, he just brought out a lot of mentality, leadership, and of course, a lot of discipline about for the players and the locker room. So first and foremost, how do you feel about for the respect that Antonio Pierce is the new head coach for Las Vegas Raiders to kind of bring it back to the Raiders culture, back to the roots, and of course to back on a winning culture?
Man, I think that Antonio Pierce was an obvious choice. Just seeing what he did as interim head coach, kind of the situation the team was in when he took over it. It was basically a team on the decline, right? We came into the season, we had very high hopes. A lot of people had us going to the playoffs, winning with double-digit wins. We're supposed to have an explosive offense with Devontae Adams. Jimmy Garoppolo was a guy who we had, we picked up in the offseason, who had experience in Josh McDaniels' offense. So we were expecting big things, and it just never materialized. And at some point, the locker room, they kind of turned on Josh McDaniels. The players weren't buying in. And when we subsequently fired Josh McDaniels and Antonio Pierce took over, the team was pretty much at its lowest point. We were coming off a loss to the Detroit Lions, and we needed a change. We needed a change. And down the stretch, Antonio Pierce, he went 5-4. The offense looked better. The defense looked much better. And the players, the fans, and the former Raider alumni, they all were buying in. So I think that Antonio Pierce is a great hire. He's a young guy, energetic, great leader, and I think he's really galvanized the entire Raider Nation. So I think it was a very good hire.
Yeah, exactly. But of course, I gotta play it on the video because I'm gonna share this right here because I know the confidence about for Antonio Pierce. He became like one of the best options that we got because since then, before we just got Antonio Pierce, which is a proven leader, and he had a lot of discipline, we just stuck with the playbook by Josh McDaniels and Dave Ziegler.
Yeah.
They wanted to adopt the Patriot way because
Yeah.
I've been telling it for several times. It's not going to happen. It's not going to get it because we're not trying to be like Tom Brady or Bill Belichick because right now it is the perfect opportunity to bring it back to the winning culture, to the culture of the Raiders because we are the Raider Nation and we just represent the good, the bad, also the greatest things. I mean, I'm gonna play a video about for the Antonio Pierce press conference, and I hope you guys need to a lot of be attention right now. So this is very important. So you gotta check this out.
Our vision is clear. Win a division, get into the playoffs, and host that Lombardi Trophy. That's not a promise. That's our vision. Our philosophy is simple. It's real simple. It's the Raider way. Pride, poise, passionate, a love for the game, and just win.
Well, there you have it, because
Yeah,
it's
man.
all about passionate. It's all about the Raiders football. I mean, I'm so shocked and so hyped for the press conference about for Antonio Pierce. I mean, they just got like a we got the cook up for like a defensive step. I mean, there's like the good choice about it. I mean,
Yeah.
staying is very massive, and we just had Patrick Graham, which is like totally impressive. I mean, even we just saw for the videos for this again for the Raiders, they say Raider Nation stand up. That's what we need to hype it up. I mean, they just had like a lot of things to do because our business is not finished because we're just about to start it. We're just about to start it. So after we just do for the press conference and Antonio Pierce, I think it's more that prepare for us giving like the greatest thing that about for the Raiders season, because right now we just had defense, we just had Max Crosby, we just had Devontae Adams. So right now for the next season, do you feel like the defense is gonna be like a top five? Because I know the last season we just got it, which is 2023-2024 season. We just got a lot to improve, but about for the defense, the offense, I mean, the special teams, the online. So, how do you feel that that season is an improvement about for the Raiders defense after all those bad things, the bad juju they just had? How do you feel about the Raiders had to improve about the defense under the leadership of Antonio Pierce as a head coach?
I mean, I feel that, we saw what happened as soon as he took over, right? From the time span that he took over the team to the end of the season, we were number one in scoring defense. And I think a big part of that was Malcolm Kuntz. Malcolm Kuntz really came on toward the end of the season. And I think that, what Antonio Pierce did was he unlocked Patrick Graham. He took the handcuffs off, he took the shackles off, and he said, you know what? You run this defense how you see fit. And once he did that, they took off like a rocket. And I think just another off season with that same mentality, I think Malcolm Kuntz is only going to get better. I think Tyree Wilson down the stretch, he looked a lot better. I think bringing in Jack Jones, he's a major upgrade over any cornerback we had all year, a major upgrade over Marcus Peters, major upgrade over Jacorian Bennett. And Jacorian Bennett is a guy who I think that with another offense, another offseason, I think he's gonna get better. He's a guy that has all the athletic tools you need to be a very good corner, and I think he's only going to improve. And I think that with Antonio Pierce as head coach, we will make more investments on into the defensive side of the ball. The defensive side of the ball kind of it was neglected. All our big money free agents for the most part were offensive guys. Outside of Max Crosby, who was an internal signing, but we brought in Devontae. We paid Hunter a bunch of money. We paid Waller a bunch of money. We paid Jimmy G a bunch of money. We brought in Jacoby, paid him a nice little sum of money. So I just think that with more time under Antonio Pierce and more investments in that side of the ball, I think we're going to have a very very good defense next year.
Yeah, that's exactly. Also, we just have for the comments right here. I see Jaw Raider to say Patrick Graham is staying. Also, we saw comments for Daniel Barry, Dimanis. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the chat. All right, so right now, let's just see for another topic right here. I mean, we just see it for anything. All right, so the next one is gonna be like Tom Telesco as Las Vegas Raiders' new general manager. And I know he's been working it out for Champ Kelly because right now he's assistant general manager. But I think that was like unexpected twist because they just wanted to Champ Kelly as a new general manager, but they just took like a twist for everything. I mean, there's a lot of thoughts for anybody, but I mean that there's some thoughts about Tom Telesco as a new general manager. I mean, traditionally he was expected to handle like a big and say coaches. I mean, I just really understand, but he personally had to go for the game decision over the last decade. I mean, it can be a worse about it, but before I had to start for the season, it was like a common knowledge for by most, and they just had the worst defense of the NFL. I mean, between Antonio Pierce has taken like a defense with extreme lack of talent, poor drafting by the previous regiments into a top 10 defense in a less than 2 months. I mean, that combination between Tom Telesco being able to hit on top picks and Antonio Pierce and Patrick Graham might turn water into a wine. That might actually work. I mean, he can hit like a first round picks, but not the later round picks, which is the complete opposite of what the Raiders will be doing for over the last 2 decades. I mean, he has an 11-year experience because I'm mainly about this hire, but I think they have a little more trust to Antonio Pierce. But thinking about Tom Telesco is like a weird decision, but also that was very unexpected because that guy, he's been like over a decade as a
Yeah.
general manager, and he put a lot of great things besides for the Chargers. I mean, he's just working as the general manager for the Chargers, but he just drafted under the Tom Telesco. Look at it, Justin Herbert, Joey Bosa, Keenan Allen, Rashawn Slaughter. I mean, if you added those guys right here, I mean, they just it worked it out. But it's something I really noticed about it is the lack of the playoff success, but also the just like the franchise for chugging over the success. Because if they had like a defense and the offense is still the players is still like a knockout about it. So it could have been like a fit stat. So I just wanted to tell you that give me like an impressions of how's it gonna work with Tom Telesero as the new general manager for the Raiders. It's gonna be like good, it's gonna be like bad because that was really unexpected.
So I think Tom Telesco, he's universally recognized as a very good talent evaluator. He was 11 years as a GM for the Chargers, but even before that, he spent a long time, working as a scout and, as an assistant GM and as a director of pro personnel, for the Indianapolis Colts. And in the Indianapolis Colts, they're one of the better drafting teams, in the NFL. And he worked under Bill Polian, who was one of the best GMs of all time, right? You think about the guys drafted under Bill Polian. You got Peyton Manning, Bob Sanders, Edgerrin James, Marvin Harrison, Reggie Wayne. Like these are the guys that Bill Polian brought in, and you know, and Tom Telesco was his student. That was the guy that was pretty much under his wing. And when he got to the Chargers, the Spanos family, it is not a great ownership. That's not a great ownership group. There's a lot of nepotism going on. Like all of his kids work for the organization, and they're in positions of great influence. And so they were, able at sometimes, and this is what people, inside the Charger organization are saying is that, there was a lot of people that were undermining what Tom Telesco was doing. Um, and and Tom Telesco's biggest struggles as a GM were really his ability to hire a good head coach and the cap management that was going on over there at the Chargers. But here with the Raiders, we don't have to worry about him handling the cap or handling contracts. Tom Delaney handles that, right? We don't have to worry about him hiring a head coach. We hired a head coach already. So his two biggest weaknesses, we've already eliminated those. So he can just really just focus on what he does best. That's evaluate talent. And he's been able to find very impactful players throughout the draft in multiple rounds in multiple years. So I think that, when you combine that with Champ Kelly, I think Champ Kelly's still going to be here. And I think, as a little bit of a show of solidarity, that Champ Kelly and Patrick Graham both showed up to this opening press conference. So I don't think Champ Kelly's going to get another GM job. He's still one more year under contract with us. So I think just the ability of Champ Kelly that he's shown in the past as a great scout, combined with the eye for talent that Tom Telesco has, I think that's going to be a very, very good combination. And it's very important that we have a guy with that kind of experience going into this draft. This is going to be a very important draft for us, right? And I hear that one of the things that they asked GMs or the potential GM candidates was about their plan or their willingness to move up to find a franchise quarterback. And I heard there were some
Mhm.
GM candidates that were hesitant to make that kind of commitment, but Tom Telesco was not one of those people that was hesitant to make that kind of commitment. So, we're going to probably get a very aggressive Tom Telesco in this upcoming draft. Hopefully, we can move up for a quarterback. I've made it clear in the past that Jaden Daniels is a guy that I think would work wonders with his organization. He already has a relationship with Antonio Pierce and with Marvin Lewis as well from their time at Arizona State. So I think that would be the dream at quarterback. But only one thing I would say about Tom Telesco that's bad, and I haven't mentioned it in the past, but Tom Telesco, he graduated from John Carroll University. And who else graduated from John Carroll University? Josh McDaniels. You know who else graduated from John Carroll University? Dave Ziegler. So,
Yeah, they just had
that's
a
a
like a
negative.
Mhm,
That's a negative. But
mhm,
Nick Caserio, the GM for the Texans, he also went to that school. He graduated from there as well, and he's done a fantastic job, especially this past off season with the hiring of D'Amico Ryans and them drafting CJ Stroud and Tank Dell and there's just the draft they
mhm.
had that pretty much catapulted them into the playoffs. So if we can have a similar draft to the one that the Texans had this past year, combined with a solid free agency signing period, I think we can really make a strong push for the playoffs next year, and maybe possibly win a playoff game.
Yeah, that's exactly. But of course, I had to go for the comments right here. I see Jimenez, the Dog Radio Podcast, Holly Tanner, how's it going? My sister, also Snoop Hernandez. So I'm gonna get to the comments later, but right now I had a question for you, the
Mhm.
Severe Raiders. So right now, after they just hired Tom Telesco as a new general manager because he has 11 years experience with Los Angeles Chargers. So I got a question for you.
Yeah.
Do you think that it's gonna be like a possible comeback with Khalil Mack for the Raiders? Because after he just proved that, after we just really shocked about for Tom Telesco as the new general manager for Las Vegas Raiders, is it possible to see a major comeback for Khalil Mack to the Civil and Black Nation?
I think that would be a great story. I think Raider Nation would love that. Most people didn't want him to leave in the first place, so I think that if he were to come back, I think everybody would be happy about that. But realistically, I just don't see it happening. Khalil Mack, he's coming off a really good season, right? He had like
Yeah,
I want to say like 16, 17 sacks. We gave him 6 of those, but he had a really good season in production in terms of sacks. And so he's going to want a nice chunk of change. And I don't think we want to invest more money into another pass rusher, especially when we just spent a high draft pick on Tyree Wilson, and then Malcolm Kuntz toward the end of the year, he really showed a lot of promise. So I think that if Malcolm Kuntz continues on this trajectory, I think we have a guy that's a excellent complement to Max Crosby already, and I would rather try to sign him to an extension this offseason and maybe lock him up for the next 3 or 4 years rather than go out and get an older guy in Khalil Mack, especially since he's been kind of injury prone over these past few years. So I would rather just spend that money on the young guys. Lock up Spillane, lock up Malcolm Kuntz. Merrick is coming up. Hobbs is going to be coming up. I'd rather allocate those resources to those guys than go out and try to make a splash with Khalil Mack. Even though that story will be great, I just don't think it's practical move.
mm, yeah, that's a fair question. So, and guys, for the comments right here in the chat up, give it a thoughts about if Khalil Mack is gonna return for the Raider Nation. So I just wanted to figure it out. Let's see for the comments right here. All right, Snoop Bernard to say the only way if it's Matt takes a guest count, and I don't think that will happen. Yeah, I think it is so. But right now, let's take a move for the another topic right here. So I know the after the 2023-2024 season was like ups and downs for the Raider Nation right here, but I gotta figure it out because right now Jimmy Garoppolo is bench, and right now we had a quarterback which is Aiden O'Connor, which is AOC. Do you think that 2024-25 season is gonna happen if we can choose like a rookie quarterback or veteran quarterback to fill out the position with Aiden O'Connor? Because right now Jimmy Garoppolo is bench and Brian Hoyer, I don't know about this guy, but I think this is gonna happen like a little more help about Aiden O'Connor, which is AOC. Do you think that we just see for the next season we just had like a veteran or a rookie quarterback to help me out with AOC and about for the defense?
So Brian Hoyer is getting cut. He's definitely getting
Mhm.
cut. And I think there is a very strong possibility that Jimmy Garoppolo gets cut. I think if we can get another veteran quarterback in here to kind of be a bridge guy, even if we draft a rookie, right? If that rookie guy is not ready to start, if we can get another vet in here to kind of be the bridge from the now until when that rookie is ready, I think that Jimmy Garoppolo is gone. If we cannot get another veteran quarterback in here, and we still want to go with the rookie and bring a rookie in and let him battle with Aiden O'Connell, I can see there is a scenario where Jimmy Garoppolo may still be on the roster. He's universally liked. Everybody in the locker room loves him. He's a guy that, when he was benched, he took that benching in stride, and he was one of the biggest cheerleaders on the sideline. You can see, like, when Trey Tucker scored that touchdown, I want to say it was against the Chargers, right? He had that. I want to say he had 2 touchdowns in that game. But one of the first people out there pumping him up was Jimmy Garoppolo, and I think that he's a great locker room guy. He's a great leader, really good at all the intangible stuff. It's just that on the field piece is where Jimmy Garoppolo struggled, and his contract is, well, he is expensive. It's not so expensive where we necessarily have to cut him, especially if we have, Aiden O'Connell, who's going to be in a rookie contract, and if we bring in another rookie quarterback, they're also going to be in a rookie contract. So his contract isn't so cost prohibitive that we would have to cut him. But I think if we're able to get another veteran, somebody that's more suited to play, then I can definitely, I feel he'll be cut. He'll be designated as a June 1st cut, and it will, his cap hit will be split over multiple years. But if we don't get a veteran quarterback, I would not be surprised at all if Jimmy Garoppolo is around for one more year. And I think if we cut him after this next upcoming season, then there will be no dead money. So I can see a scenario where that would happen.
Yeah, because they had some potential fits for the Raiders. I mean, they just had because he had show up because there's for example, there's Baker Mayfield for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I mean, the Raiders should be not badly missing out for Baker Mayfield. Everyone's because they just ruined a landed spot for Mayfield. But I mean, now they're getting close to knock out for the competition. I mean, he just reestablished himself as a quality starter, which is a great leader, possibility like a division champion. But he has only 28, but he can still one of the better quarterbacks in the league. But I mean, especially in late December, that would be a great fit. But they just have it projected to earn a contract with the $7 million per year for 2 years. I mean, if those positions are very accurate, will be Mayfield with a lot more sense for the Raiders. That will be an offense that weapons just need a reliable veteran to utilize them. He has 26 touchdowns passes and 8 interceptions. I mean, but also he showed up with a very relationship that can work well with the Raiders, especially if Antonio Pierce as the head coach. But Mayfield has already replaced himself of players and coaches in Tampa for the leadership abilities, and he will drag a team that lost 6 out of the 7 games for the brink of the postseason. I mean, if the Raiders can afford it, I mean, the Raiders could be a number 10 in projected cap space next winter, which is $47 million. I mean, there's a lot of options right there. So this is gonna be a Kirk Cousins, Fields, not Russell Wilson because we just know about it. But I mean, there's a lot of things out of the groove. It's gonna be the next big thing for the Raiders quarterback, which is between Cousins, Fields, or Baker Mayfield. So, well, it all depends whether they're gonna start with or a veteran or a rookie quarterback. I mean, it depends on the kind of leadership and, of course, the mobile accuracy of those quarterbacks.
Yeah, I mean, I think the way that Baker Mayfield played this year, he's going to probably demand a little bit more money than we may be willing to pay for. Kirk Cousins has he's historically been an expensive quarterback, and the Vikings may end up bringing him back. You never know. But I'm not. I've said in the past I'm not a real fan of Justin Fields. I know a lot of people in Raider Nation, they would like that. They see that potential there. They see that athletic ability, and they just they just gravitate toward that. But in my opinion, he's just not a good player. He hasn't figured it out, and we want to point to everything around him as to why he hasn't figured it out. But it's been multiple regimes there, multiple offensive coordinators there, and he has yet to put together a complete season to show me that, okay, I'm a guy that will eventually be a franchise quarterback. And then another bad thing about Justin Fields is that as soon as we get him, we basically have to make a decision on his 5th year option, and then right after that we have to make a decision about whether we want to sign him to an extension. So we're getting an unproven player that's going to be more expensive than the average rookie quarterback. And then we only get, basically 2 years of him on a semi cost control contract. It's not. I'd rather just draft a younger guy than him in this upcoming draft, and have 4 years and possibly 5 years of him on a very very cost control contract. And we say no to Russell Wilson. Look, the way
Mhm.
Russell Wilson's contract is structured with the Denver Broncos is that he can go basically to any team and take the league minimum because the Denver Broncos have to foot the rest of the bill. So whatever he makes in the contract from his new team, that just means the Broncos pay him less off the money that was guaranteed. So he's really incentivized to go to another team and take the league minimum and make the Broncos pay all of that money. Um, and the Raiders are a team that they play the Broncos twice a year. So if you want to stay relatively, to the West Coast, where he's basically been his entire NFL career between being in Seattle and then being with Denver, which is semi, or in Colorado, which is semi West Coastish. He wants to make that short trip to Nevada and stay kind of on the West Coast in a tax free state. I can see that happening. I can definitely see that happening. It just really depends on, what faith Antonio Pierce has on him being the Russell Wilson that we saw kind of in the middle of the season, not the Russell Wilson we saw in the beginning of the season or to finish the season. And if AP and Tom Telesco or if they both of the opinion that, hey, the guy that we saw toward that middle of the season, where he was playing at an all-pro level, and went into the bye week and beat the Chiefs. I think that if they feel that he can duplicate that performance again, then I wouldn't be surprised if they were willing to bring a guy like that in.
Yeah, exactly. I agree with you. Also, we just had some comments right here, so let me check them out for the comments. Thanks for coming out for supporting the chat right here. So we just got Holly, my sister, Snoop Hernandez, how's it going? Also, Dark, Compa, saludos. Jimenez is in the building. Also, we just got Reda Bennett in the building. Salute. Also, we just got Daniel Berry. All right, so I just wanted to tell you one last question before we just wrap it up. So I just asking for some rated content creators what defines the rated way for you. Because right now we just got Antonio Pierce as a new head coach. What represents the rated way for you? So can you tell about the rated way it explains to you? So there you go, Saber.
Man, the right of way is basically being a rebel. Being a rebel, marching to the beat of your own drummer, not conforming to what everybody else does, kind of doing things your own way. And sometimes when you do that, you kind of get castigated by everybody else. You're the black sheep, you're the outsider. But we embrace that, right? We're the team that we took on the players the other teams didn't want. We went to when teams weren't going to HBCUs, we went down to HBCUs and we found Hall of Famers like Gene Upshaw and like Art Shell, right? And that's what the Raiders do. They do their own thing, man. It's about, and I think Antonio Pierce said it best, man. It's pride, poise, passionate, and just win. And stay with that commitment to excellence.
Yeah, there you go. And for me, I just published it about for the video, and I was just talking about be aggressive with swag, mentality, leadership, and of course discipline. Because on that time, what I just learned about for the Raider way, even though that I'm Hispanic, I'm Latino with a special condition, that doesn't stop me because I represent the whole Raider nation or international because we had the biggest fans in the whole world. No matter
Yeah,
if you live in United States, United Kingdom, Australia, Samoa American, but also we just got the best of the best. I mean,
yeah,
we just had ups and downs. We just had like the reactions for the drafts and of course the games right here. I mean, that was just like very impressive. I mean, look at it this one. We are like the misfits. I mean, we just had like a really good enough because we're just getting tired to be like the laughing stock with the NFL because they always laughing at us. But whatever happens, because we just dress up like all black and we just had the hats for Black Sunday. And
yeah.
of course, we just made like a good establish because after we just saw Antonio Pierce as a new head coach, we just see bringing back the culture, bringing
Yeah.
back the locker room with a lot of greatness because we just had a great defense, a great offense, and of course, we just had the best fans in the world. There's
Right.
nothing can stop us. There's nothing can
Yeah.
stop us. And I just wanted to realize that we, as a part of the Raider Nation, is our DNA, is our body and soul, and we can never stop in our minds. Because I gotta tell you, for like a popular catchphrase, once a Raider, always a Raider.
Yeah.
Yep.
Facts, man.
All right, so let's just see if it are the comments right here. So we see news the OC is between Zach Robinson and Clint Kingsbury. Chargers will shit their pants if it's Zach Robinson. Also, we got Snoop Hernandez, Cousin for a veterans and Phil as a replacement, but Severe making points. So let's see what happens. Yeah, there you go. All right, so Jared say Zach Robinson 6 years under McVay. Look at Zach Taylor 2 seasons under McVay. Zach he took Bengals to the Super Bowl in 2021, which is like a great fact. I mean, it doesn't like a very good stop at it because that was you just brought a good point, Raider. Because remember that time that Los Angeles Rams they just won at the Super Bowl against Cincinnati Bengals. I mean, that formula it became like very successful. I mean, there's nothing had to do Gustavo. So I just mean like that's very incredible.
Yeah, man. I mean, I like Zach Robinson. I think Zach Robinson, like the guys that come from that Sean McVay tree, that they've been successful. They have been successful. So I think that if we can get Zach Robinson, I think that would be great. I personally I like Zach Robinson and Cliff Kingsbury. They're my one and two right there. I like Kingsbury just because the experience piece that he brings to the table. He's been a head coach before in the league. He's worked at the collegiate level. He's the guy who Patrick Mahomes credits with a lot of his early development. So especially if we get a rookie quarterback, he's a guy that's been known to develop quarterbacks. You see what he did, with Caleb Williams. So I think if we're going to go the rookie quarterback route, especially if it's a guy like a Jaden Daniels, a very mobile guy, I think that Cliff Kingsbury would be able to do some very, 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 very special things with that type of quarterback. But Zach Robinson, hey, like I said, if we don't get Cliff Kingsbury and we get Zach Robinson, I will be ecstatic with that hire as well, man. That those guys that come from that McVay system, those guys, they pretty much always do well. Always do well.
Yeah, exactly. And of course, we're just here to look at the comments right here. And I mean, thank you for the comments and thank you for supporting. Much love from El Capitán Rafucho with a special guest via Raider. So right now, I gotta tell you, before we can wrap this up, where can we find you on the social media, Severe Raider? Because right now you just see like a great rookie content creator providing good live streams with Farrell. I mean, I just cannot believe that it just happened. So I just love to provide some good points and all about that. So can you provide all the social media thing can people can see your content?
I appreciate it, man. Yeah, man. Y'all can find me at YouTube at the Severe Raider, on Instagram at the Severe Raider, on Twitter or X at the Severe Raider. You can find me on farmersonly.com. I'm messing with you now, but pretty much everywhere, man. Just look up the Severe Raider, man. I'll be there. I think I got a TikTok too. I'm not really on TikTok that much, but yeah, man. Just at the Severe Raider on you. I mean, I'm mainly on Instagram and YouTube, man. At the Severe Raider. Y'all go over there. Make sure y'all subscribe, man. I got a lot of content coming this summer, man. And hopefully, man, more I'll be able to do more work with El Capitan, man.
Yeah, that's exactly. But I just wanted to tell you that thanks for coming in, Severe Raider. And for those guys who didn't know, because I'm working with the Black Sunday snapback, they just give me like a perfect gift. And of course, check this out, folks. They just give me like a good t-shirt at We Raider.
Awesome.
And shout out to
Thanks.
Kukui Online and Baker Raider that to provide me this amazing t-shirt that I really love it. I mean, the support to those guys right here. So I just wanted to tell you, thanks for joining us for this special episode with El Capitán Rafucho. and our special guest, to be a Raider. Make sure to subscribe here to this content along with Farrell NFL, which is a great brother of mine, because remember this, folks. It's always rocking it with the Raider Nation. Just win, baby. And once a Raider, always a Raider. And you cannot escape to the black hole, because right now the dark side is right here. So I just wanted to tell about it. So have a great night, have a great weekend, and of course, it's been like always a pleasure. And remember this: just win, baby, just like Al Davis, and win or lose, Raider Nation till I die. So I will see you there next time. And of course, salute to the chat. So I appreciate it, guys. So peace out.
Peace.